Hello everybody, this is Milagros from Binah Tarot, and I am going to be doing the tarot scopes for the 12 zodiac signs for the year of 2018. You can check your ascendant and your moon sign since it is just a general reading, and I am going to keep doing the monthly videos in regards to love. Let's begin. Alright, so these are the decks I'm going to be using for this month's readings. These are some of my favorite decks. I really cannot include all of them because it will be just too much. This is one of my two favorite decks ever. My Kingdom Within Tarot deck by Juno, Lucina and Shannon ThornFeather. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. This is my go-to deck for readings for clients. I'm also going to do a review on this one. I am pretty sure that it is not so widely known and many people could benefit from using it. As for Lenormand, for the more practical matters, we have Lenormand, and this is also one of my favorite decks. It's quite a recent one, and I really love it. I have it in two sizes. The author of this deck is Melanie. She's lovely. She has made it so easy for people to connect to the deck because she includes keywords, and it's just amazing to have it also in a small size so that it can fit the whole reading. I'm going to be doing a review on this one too. And then for the more love-oriented questions, we have the Lover's Path Tarot. I do have to mention the author of the Lover's Path Tarot deck, and it's Kris Waldherr. I hope I'm pronouncing it right again. And then we have the Iris deck, which is an oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck. It is amazing. It has 78 cards. The imagery, again, might not apply to everybody, but the message is very good. It's also quite accurate, and it's a great deck to give advice. The author is Mary Elizabeth Evans. So I'm going to be using this one to make a wheel of the year. All the months I will pull one card per month in a circle fashion. Then I'm going to pull by trimesters with these two decks. This one to focus in more financial work-related matters. And this one to focusing more, again, by trimesters, to focus into the more emotional side of the reading. Worry not, though, because I will keep uploading my love readings for every month. So if you want more information into the emotional side of the readings, then you can keep watching the monthly ones. This one will just give some general image of how the next year will go. As the Iris deck, I will be pulling one card that will connect to the card of the year, and it will give you an advice, like an advice of what to focus on. Scorpio, this is your reading for 2018. And we are going to begin with the Eight of Pentacles, the month of January, and we're going to go clockwise till the Ace of Swords, which represents the month of December. So Scorpio, this is going to be an interesting year. From just checking at the cards, it is going to come with its challenges, but you are used to challenge already, so you should be able to be fine, especially towards the last trimester of the year. The things are going to look up for you, despite the ups and downs that are going to take place throughout the first part of the year. So let's begin with the month of January, which is represented by the Eight of Pentacles. And this means that you're going to be very busy working. You're going to be doing a lot of work regarding your career, regarding your studies, even in regards to a relationship. I see that you're going to be very focused. You're going to keep busy. You might find at some points that you don't have enough time to fit everything in your agenda, but this is actually something good because you're going to feel productive. You're going to feel like the results of your work are bringing you happiness, that they are bringing you fulfillment of some sort. You might not be able to totally acknowledge it during this month, but maybe a bit later on. But the truth is that it is going to be a very productive month of January. As for the month of February, we have the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups talks about poisonous delusions in a different way. During the month of February, you might face confusion. This confusion might have to do with your feelings. You might not know exactly where your feelings are standing towards a person. You might be confused because maybe this person is feeding you with wrong information. maybe you're doubting on the honesty of this person, or maybe you don't know what to believe of this person anymore. If it has to do with work, then you might be confused about what kind of work choice do you want. If you are looking for a work, maybe you might be confused on what do you want. Maybe the expectations you are having are not completely realistic, or there is something that keeps your attention a little bit not exactly in the right place. I feel that your mind is going to be in too many places at the same time. You might need to do a lot of multitasking. You might need to be in different places at the same time, and that's why I see that there is some distraction. So just be aware of not getting distracted of your plans, because this distraction might tamper in a way the progress that you have been doing during the month of January. Now, in regards to the month of March, we have the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups has to do with abundant success. There is more movement. So we have an 8, which speaks about progress. We have a 7 that is a little step back. And then we have an 8 again. The 8 again speaks about progress. It is progress, leaving the 7 of Cups situation, leaving the confusion, so that you can go somewhere else. You might realize that some of the expectations you were having during the month of February were, as I was saying, unrealistic, difficult to achieve, confusing. Maybe they were not exactly working on your best interest, and you are going to choose what is on your best interest during the next month, during the month of March. So this might involve having to move away, maybe having to move from where you are right now geographically. It might have to do with moving on from that situation. Maybe that relationship is not very healthy for you. You might be deciding to move on from it, to move away from it. Maybe if you have been going through some difficulties or some doubts in the relationship and you were able to clear them out through communication, you might be able to leave them behind and to just turn the next page and start all over new within the same relationship. But there is a sense of movement that is going to be done having the best interest of your feelings in mind. Now, in regards to love for the first trimester, we have the card of the 8 of Arrows. And the 8 of Arrows card, the 8 of Arrows is actually quite interesting because it speaks about confusion. It speaks about having too many thoughts. There is something inside your mind, Scorpio, during this period of time. There is something that is not letting you sleep very well. Whether it is that you feel that the other person is withholding information from you, whether that you feel that you are not sure about your feelings towards that person. It can also relate to feeling that you are not having all the facts, like I was saying. Feeling maybe that you are trapped into a relationship that doesn't make you fully happy and that you feel you cannot walk away from it. But the truth is that you can, because as you can see, this prison is quite imaginary. It's quite inside the head of this person, because you might very easily walk away from it. There is really nothing that can keep you within that situation if the situation is not healthy for you. It's just inside your mind to take a step outside that relationship or that situation. There is no need to go through sadness. When you have the solution within yourself, it might be just that you're overthinking the things, and that the solution is a lot more simple than you imagine. Maybe the solution is right in your hands. Maybe the solution is just in communication, in clearing out the air. And it is something that you should focus on during this month. Just focus on the communication to clear out any tension that might arise. Now, in regards to finance and work, we have the dog and the book. The dog has to do with a friend, with a companion, somebody reliable, somebody faithful. So it is somebody from your direct environment who you rely on. Maybe you trust in this person. This person might be able to come across in your life with an opportunity for a work, an opportunity for a new project. You also might have some hesitations or some doubts in regards to this person, because the book is a card of secrets, is a card of studies, of knowledge as well. This might be a person that will come to you with a very valuable advice. It might be somebody older that is coming with some important suggestion to make to you. And if that is the way you feel about this person, then you should listen to this advice because it comes from a trustable friend. But if you are feeling from your intuition that this person is not to be trusted on, then you should probably just take the advice with a very, very, very clear head and try to let some time pass before you take it, before you do anything about it. Now, in regards to the month of April, we have the Devil card, and the Devil card speaks about obsession, speaks about a situation that you feel, again, like it's quite similar to the Eight of Arrows in a way. It makes you feel like trapped, something that you are codependent on, about attraction, a very strong attraction, about jealousy. This card might represent that you are feeling bound to a situation, to a circumstance, and that is very easy for you to walk away from it. If it is a relationship, then you might feel that you want this person, or that you are so attracted to this person that it's difficult for you to walk away. There might be some sexy energy going on in there. If it has to do with work, it might be a work that doesn't fully make you happy, or that doesn't even pay such a great salary, but you still feel bound to it because it pays your bills. There is a sense of feeling like you cannot be yourself, that you cannot be free during this period of time in April, which doesn't mean that you cannot, because once more, they are not bound to the situation in a way where they cannot escape or move away from it. It is within yourself, it is within your own strength to walk away from whichever situation doesn't feel healthy for you. Something to keep in mind during the month of April. Now, in regards to the month of May, we have the Eight of Swords that repeats itself. We saw it before in regards to love, and now we see it again in this general line. So again, it speaks at a point, a period of time in which you might be short-sighted, and this is directly related to the Devil card. So after a period of time in which you have felt trapped, in which the situation, actually your life, makes you feel like you depend on certain people or on certain situations. During this period of time, you might be just, this whole idea might be just in your mind. Because as we see, the card is, the description of the card is short-sighted, which means that it's just necessary for her to take out this fabric that is blinding her, that is covering her eyes, so that she can escape from that situation. It is not something, this situation that is going on during the month of April and May doesn't mean that you have to be bound to whatever doesn't feel okay for you. Whether it is a relationship, whether it is a work, it is something that you can effectively walk away from. I think that, and because we have the Ace of Swords, and it might relate to communication. It might relate that with something that you're afraid to say. We know that we Scorpios have a very sharp tongue, and sometimes we say some things that people do not take the best way. So you might be afraid to say that things, and it might feel almost as if you just want to take it out. I believe you will eventually take it out, but you're going to be extra careful before doing it. So just keep that in mind, bear that in mind. You are going to be able to sort it out. You just have to hold on in there and to not torment yourself with this, whether you just let it out or whether you just stop thinking about it. There is no necessity to just be too much in your head. Now, in regards to the month of June, we have the Lover's card. So again, we have a focus in love. Maybe after a period of difficulty in which there has been some movements and some changes in your love life, you are going to be again reconnected to this person. It might be a reconciliation. It might be just a focus in the relationship, in your relationship. Maybe you had to sort out many work-related things or finance-related things, and you couldn't really focus your full attention to it. Then this is a month in which again you have you feel like you can breathe and you can dedicate some time to the love matter, to a relationship matter. It can even be the love towards yourself in case you are single. It might have to do with you taking care of yourself, reminding yourself that you have to love yourself before anybody else. In regards to other matters, it might have to do with decisions. Maybe this situation in which you feel trapped is going to take you or to lead you to a decision, and you will have to take that decision. You will feel like life is pushing you to take the decision, because right after that we have Judgment. So it might have to do with that as well, with balancing out two different choices or two different roads that you have ahead of yourself. In regards to the love situation for the second trimester, we have the Ace of Swords, which speaks about communication, the power of air. So this is a point in time in which you are not going to hold back the things that you were holding back anymore. I think that towards the end of this period of time, you're just going to let it out. As I was telling before, if these cards relate to love, then this one relates to communication, not being fluent, not maybe you holding back some information because you're afraid of what this information can cause to the other person or the trouble that it might bring to you. Then you're just going to let it out. You're just going to say and do what is right. This card also speaks for the truth, stands for saying the truth or for finding the truth. And there is a truth that you are going to be after during this time, whether it is you saying this truth and facing whatever consequence comes after, whether it is positive or negative, or wanting to hear the truth from the other side. This card also speaks about fighting for what is right. So you will want to fight for what is right. If you have felt that you have been wronged in this situation and maybe you didn't do something about it during this month, you are going to try to recover that, to recover the right of the situation. Now, in regards to finance and more practical matters, we have the Tree and the Ring. The Tree speaks about health, about growth, about patience, healing, enduring. It speaks about life, family, foundations of some sort. And then we have the Ring that speaks about a bond, a contract, a lover, an engagement. It speaks about commitment, contracts. It might have to do with a contract, with a long-term contract that is coming your way. It might have to do with a health, with a treatment in regards of health or a solid health. Maybe after following up with a treatment in your health, this treatment is finally going to work. In financial terms, it might have to do with a business that is growing, a family business that is becoming solid, that maybe the business is growing steadily. It can have to do with patience paying off finally, or a cycle of patience that will be required. But it speaks, all in all, it is not negative. It speaks about things reaching some sort, or to reaching some sort of agreement. Maybe you are going to feel grounded enough, you're going to be feeling stable enough, or you are going to feel like life is giving you the chance to reach an agreement. It might, if you do not have a work or you're trying to change work, then it's quite possible that during this second trimester you are going to strike that deal, you're going to get that work. It's going to take some negotiating because we have the Devil, we have the Eight of Swords. So there are some challenging energies, especially towards the first months of the trimester, but you are going to be able to pull through and to get that agreement that you want. You can make it work. It's in your hands. For the month of July, we have the Judgment card, and the Judgment card speaks about resolutions of some sort. And it's right next to the Lover's card. So the decisions that you have to make are going to be made, especially during the month of July. Life is going to, in some way, face you to the decisions that you have made, the consequences of the decisions that you have made. If you have felt, for example, here, this feeling trapped, feeling like there is not much that you can do, feeling that you don't have many choices, then you are finally releasing that with the Judgment card. This is a time in which there is an end to the cycles that have been repeating themselves and that you have felt that were not very positive to you. Then this is finally the moment of freedom, the moment in which you can let go, the moment in which life says, okay, you have worked hard and now you're going to get the recognition, the reward for it. You haven't been working hard and now you're going to get the consequences of it. So whatever you have been working on during these months and even the past years, it is going to be harvested during this month. So just make sure that you have made a good attempt, you have made a good effort, and that way life will compensate you accordingly. Now we have for the month of August the Two of Cups, which is another card related to love. So this might mean that again there is going to be a focus in your love life. It is quite interesting that it comes. We have the Lovers, we have Judgment, and we have the Two of Cups that speaks about couples again. It might be one of these on and off relationships that seem to end and then they begin again. It might be that after a period of difficulties within the relationship, you are going to be able to reach an agreement with this person. You might even meet somebody new. It might be somebody new showing up in your life. It might also represent a time in which you're going to spend time with your loved ones. You're going to meet up with friends or meet up with somebody who feels near to you, feels close to you emotionally, and that is a person who understands you in a way and can provide you with company, with advice. It can also have to do with associations in work. Oh, before I forget, the Judgment card can also mean that trials, in case you are in a trial or in case you have to deal with paperwork. This is for the month of July. Anything that has to do with paperwork, legal paperwork, official or legal separations, lawyers, that is some of the other energies that can come up in the month of July. Sorry about that, but I had to mention it. Now, let's go back to August. So in August, this can also mean that there is some sort of association. You might end up meeting a partner. It can be a professional or business partner, and you are going to strike some sort of deal, some sort of contract in which you will decide to work together for a period of time. It can also mean that you are going to establish a good connection with the company you are working for. That after the Judgment period, maybe you were on a trial and they were just testing how your work was, and this might be the month in which they tell you, we are going to cooperate, we are going to be partners, and we are going to team up together, we'll work together. In regards of the next month, a month of September, we have the Hanged Man. That speaks about a period in which you will have to change your perspective on the things. You will have to change your perspective on the things so that you can reach illumination in a way, because we see that he's upside down, but that his head has found illumination. That sometimes we have to twist, we have to be a little bit unconventional on the way we see things, so that we can find a sense to them. Some blessings might come concealed, and it feels the Hanged Man is one of the cards that explains why some of the blessings are coming in a way concealed to us. So you might feel that maybe you are in a moment of stagnation. You might feel that you want to do too many things and somehow life is telling you, like, calm down and stop, take a break. Do not act yet. Do not speak yet. Just wait. It's a moment in which you will have to wait. There will be not much movement during this month, this period of time, but it's very, very important for you to take it in your benefit. To take it as a time in which you can allow yourself to be unconventional. You can allow yourself to see the things from a different angle, because you are going to find benefits from seeing the things from a different angle. In regards to love, for the third trimester, we have the Eight of Cups that again repeats itself. It speaks about moving on again. So I am sorry if I repeat myself, but these are the cards I got for Scorpio. And this card means again that you so much desperately want to escape from some of the things that you have been going through the past year. And I can say that from my own experience. And this year seems all about moving on. This year seems all about leaving the past behind. But it will come out as a topic for more than 1 month, as we can see some cards that are repeating themselves. You will want to make sure that you are moving on. If you weren't able to complete this moving on process here, because we have again some cards that speak about clinging to the past, and then we have again the Judgment card that speaks about renewal, then you are having during this period of time the chance of renewal, the chance of bringing new energies into your life. Just keep this in mind. Do not cling, do not depend on situations that are not healthy for you. Whether it is to improve your relationship, if it requires for you to leave some things behind, then it is best for you to do it. If it is required for you to walk away from that situation, then it is best for you to do it, because you might be denying to yourself the possibility to meet somebody better. You might be denying to yourself the possibility of being happy with this person. In regards to the financial and more practical matters, we have the man and the mice. So I will take the man as a man or a woman, because the reading is very general. I see stress. I see that during this month in work there will be some stress. That's what I can see. It can also, this card also relates to fear, to theft, to loss. But I still don't feel that it means that you're going to lose somebody. It can also mean, like, one of the meanings can be that about losing somebody, or feeling that you're losing yourself, or that maybe a colleague is leaving from your workplace, or that maybe you're being underpaid. But I see it more as a stressful time. Maybe there is going to be too much work, or maybe you're going to try to make some projects work and you will have to wait. You will have to be very, very patient in regards to business and resources during the third trimester. Again, this card, when it has to do with resources, it asks you to not overspend. Do not overspend during this period of time, because you don't want to get into debt. You don't want to get even stressed. It doesn't even mean that you are going to owe money or end up owing money in every case. It has to do with you just being concerned about expenses. Try not to be over concerned about expenses. Try just to save money. Try to not spend more than what you have, and to just take the necessary. There is no need to overstress, because the things are going to look up also during the next months. So if you feel that business has not been very active during this time, it will pick up. It is just a period of time. So for the card for the month of October, we have the World. And the World might have to do with traveling, with meeting people from abroad, receiving visits from people that is coming from abroad, getting to a point of progress after going through the Hanged Man. Getting the World means that there are some lessons that have been understood. There are some cycles that you have finally understood why some cycles needed to be closed into your life, whether they have to do with relationships or whether they had to do with work. After just thinking many times about what the things did not work the way you were expecting them to, then the World just makes it all tied together. You will get finally a full image of why the things happened. You are going to feel that you have made a progress within yourself. It is some very interesting month. It is a month in which you are going to feel like a completion. You are going to feel some sort of closure. You are going to also feel some sort of achievement. You will see how much you have grown during the past months and during the past years as well. It is a card in which you are looking behind and you are looking at yourself in the mirror and you see, like, how much have I grown? How much have I changed? And Scorpio is a sign that has the ability to change so many times. So it is a good month to get to understanding of that. The month of November shows a King of Wands. This can represent somebody new coming into your life, somebody from a fire sign, such as Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, or it can represent yourself having the fire energy. So it can represent that after having gone through the world stage, you're going to feel strong again. You are going to be again like you're going to feel again like the phoenix, as you can see on the picture, that has been reborn from the ashes. Like you are strong enough, like you're feeling energetic and creative to keep going, to boost your life. Maybe the past months proved themselves a little bit challenging, but during this month you're regaining your energy, you're regaining your drive, you're regaining the control over the things and the initiative to make new plans. So in your work you might feel like you're super strong and whatever happened, you're leaving it behind and you're just focusing on moving forward, on making that plans work, on making that investments work. In relationships, it speaks about passion, so it can be a month in which the passion is going to be really high in your relationship. in which the connections are going to feel like there is a special chemistry to them, whether it is with somebody new or with somebody who is already in your life. For the month of December, we have the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is the power of air, the power of communication that we saw coming up earlier on. It is a month in which you are going to feel that you have to speak up your mind, that you have to fight for your truth. If you were on a trial or you were in a situation in which you had to prove your point, then this is a month in which you will have plenty of opportunities to do it. You will finally be able to speak your truth, to get your truth across. If there is, it also has to do with information that maybe you didn't have access to, then this is a month in which you are going to get to the bottom of the things, in which you will get that information, in which you will feel strong enough to get that point across. If you were having communication issues during the past months, then this is the month where it finally unlocks and you are in some way ruling the communication level, but always taking care of what you say, always taking care of not being way too tough. Sometimes it's not very easy for everybody to understand how we react or we operate in regards to words and communication, and we might end up looking like we are insensitive. It doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with a search for the truth. It has to do with victory. It also speaks about victory. So it speaks like you finally taking again that victory, that truth, that power of communication in your hand. In regards to love, in the fourth trimester, we have the Two of Arrows that speaks about harmony. Yeah, it speaks about a point in which maybe you would just want to rest after this storm, after moving on. The moment in which you just want to protect your heart, in which you just want to be maybe a little bit more logical, maybe a little bit more practical about the things, and protect your feelings from getting hurt again. I think that during this month, there are so many things that are going to be going on in your life, in other aspects, that maybe you're going to leave the emotional part a little bit to the side, and you're maybe not going to give it the same priority than the other things that are going to be going on. It speaks about some emotional detachment. So you're just going to try to fix yourself first so that you can then focus on the relationship, which is not a bad decision for this specific case. For the financial and more practical terms, we have the Fox and the Lily. And the Fox can be the father, the mother, the person who provides at home and that wants to provide wealth in a long term, the person that wants to take care of his or her house, the son or the daughter who takes care of the mother and that wants or is motivated by to do that, the mother or the father, sorry, and that is motivated to do that because he or she feels it as a responsibility. It also speaks about a progress or an upgrade in the career. So it might mean that the career that you have been doing during this time and you weren't very sure about, then it is something that is going to finally show you its potential in a longer term. It speaks about what the moment in which you have to trust yourself and your potential to make the things work in a long term. I think that is your fear in regards to career and finances, Scorpio. You are afraid that you might be losing your time with what you're doing because it might not reflect on wealth or on feeling like the right decision for a longer term. But I feel that during this period of time, you're going to find out that it can be. Maybe in unconventional ways, maybe you're going to take shortcuts towards then, but I think that it is going to be positive. I don't see the Fox in this specific scenario as being something bad because it appears to the left as well. So then we have the Lilies, which is a positive card, and it speaks about long-term achievement of some sort, something that will last for some time. Then we have the Knight of Wands that sums up the whole reading and tells me that you have a boundless potential. You should not be afraid, even if you have to relocate, even if you have to move, to change work, to change field, even if you have to do some changes, even if you have to take risks, because in this specific deck, this card speaks about taking risks. You might be really, really afraid. You might have been hurt in work or in love matters, and you might be afraid just to take risks, but this year will be about taking that risks. Life is going to put you in a situation, in a position in which if you want to escape stagnation, if you want to escape dissatisfaction, you will have to take those risks. And the truth is that the potential that you have within yourself and the situation itself and the potential it might represent is more than what you can imagine if you just fight for it. The prize is there for you to take in there, but you actually have to run towards it. You have to fight and to be fierce so that you can take it and see the results. In regards to the advice, we have the All-Knower card, which is an equivalent of the High Priestess in a way. And this card tells you that you already know. You are quite a psychic yourself, Scorpio. And you already know the answers that you are so much looking for are within yourself. You already know. You have to be really careful. You have to see again and to connect to yourself and to learn to see with different eyes. You need to stop seeing through your through that usual way, like we have the Hangman for that reason, because you have to avoid the confusion of the Seven of Cups. Just try not to let other people overwhelm you or to let the thoughts overwhelm you. There is a dimension that you have. There is a different level that you have. Something that tells you, that dictates you in a way what is right and what is wrong. And it is within your heart. Your fight for the truth is right, but that truth is more inside your heart, inside your feelings, inside your emotions, than inside your head, especially when you're too stressed about daily problems that sometimes become overwhelming for all of us. As I was saying in the beginning of the video, this is just a general reading. And if you want to book a private consultation with me, you can always do it through the link that I am going to leave down below of the video, in which you can have access to the different types of readings that I am offering. You can also have access to the Christmas promo reading. It is only $25 to speak about a specific topic, and you can have access to this through the link that I am going to leave down below. This is going to be active till the 31st of December. Besides that, I am really near from reaching the 10,000 subscribers, and I'm really thankful to you all for sharing, liking, subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be shooting a separate video in which I'm going to be explaining the guidelines to participate in the new contest that I am going to be launching when I reach the 10,000 subscribers. So you can subscribe to my channel, you can click on the alerts so that you can receive a notification when the new video is up. And besides that, thank you so very much for liking, for sharing, for the comments, and for all the support that you have shown me since I began shooting the videos. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, a very happy New Year, and I see you next month in the Tarot Scopes for the month of January in regards to love. Goodbye. Thanks.